to my executive services. So in my previous video, I have explained meaning of communication and importance of communication skills. So today in this video, I will be starting from elements of communication cycle. Each communication cycle begins with the ideation stage, that is, when a fact is observed or an idea is developed in the person's mind. Thereafter, the person or sender, also known as the source, decides to translate the idea or observation into a message or information by encoding and then transmit that encoded message through a medium of communication to another person, the receiver. The receiver then decodes, interprets, or understands the message that provides a feedback to the sender, indicating that the message has been understood and appropriate action is taken or will be taken. This communication between two or more people takes place when. So now we'll study when a communication takes place between two or more persons. There is a person, sender or source of transmitter, desirous of desirous of passing on some information that is verbal using words or non-verbal without using words. There is another person, receiver, to whom the information is to be passed. The receiver partly or wholly interprets or understands the message passed on to them. The receiver responds to the message in the form of feedback. It is important that communication cannot exist in the absence of any of the above mentioned four components. For instance, two English speaking students from two different countries, Noya and Germany and Prakash from India, meeting for the first time under their university exchange program, greet each other with the extended hands, a handshake, which constitutes an interpersonal communication situation. This is because there is no a person desires that means. This is an example is given that three persons are there. Here it has been said that it's been said that two English persons are there, two English speaking students. One is from Noya and one is from Germany. And another person who is from India. His name is Prakash. So they met with each other because of the university exchange program. And then they extended hands. They they introduced themselves and Naya has greeted Prakash, and the Prakash has also received the greetings, and he has also done the same thing with Naya. Then when Naya, the first person, extends the hands, Prakash, the second person at the receiving end, understand that he is being greeted. Yes, when a person extends the hands, then to say that's greeted. Then Prakash, the second person, immediately responds to the message of greeting passed on to him by Naya by extending his own hands, feedback to the initial message of greeting. However, However, if an English speaking person addresses a Chinese speaking person who does not understand English, an English communication does not exist. Hmm. That means it's been said that suppose a Chinese speaking person and the English speaking person addresses themselves, but their language is different. One is one who speaks in English and another who speaks in Chinese. They doesn't know, the English person doesn't know Chinese language, and the Chinese person doesn't know English language. So they doesn't know their language each other. Okay, so here the communication is not being fulfilled. Okay, here the communication does not exist. Okay, so despite an English speaking person being present, the sender, the message is not interpreted or understood by the other person, and as the message itself is not decoded or interpreted by the receiver, there is no feedback given to the sender. In fact, the transmission of the sender ideas to the receiver and the receiver's feedback or reaction to the sender constitutes the communication cycle. So now let's study the main components of communication cycle. The first one is sender. The sender who wants to send the information. That is the one who's sending the information is the sender. Ideas, the information or ideas the sender wants to give the receiver. That means through the information, whatever information the sender is sending to the information or the through the information whatever idea is sending is whatever idea is sending, it's being listened by the receiver. That means sending said that the information or ideas the sender wants to give the receiver. So the message, the actual message that is sent. So it's nothing to explain here. This is the message that is sent. Encoding. The sender selects a communication language, sorry, a common language that can be understood by the receiver and encodes information. Encoding means encoding means the particular information through a particular language through which the communication is being sent. The sender selects a common language that can be understood by the receiver and encodes the information. Communication channel, that is the sender selects an appropriate medium or channel such as face-to-face dialogue, letters, faxes, telephone calls, electronic mails, and so on for the delivery of the information to the receiver. Communication channel is nothing but this is through a medium, uh, medium through which the sender is sending the messages, sending the information to the receiver. It can be through email, it can be through our WhatsApp chat, it can these are digital digital sending system, digital communication. And it can be face to face also, it can be through letter also. The receiver of the information. Then decoding, number 7 is decoding. In order to interpret or understand the information, the receiver deciphers the encoding information sent by the receiver. In or it will say that to interpret or to understand the information, the receiver deciphers the encoded information sent by the receiver. Now we understand. Now we'll understand here what is decipher. It's a it's a contrasting word. Let us see the meaning. What has been said that decipher. D-C-I-P-H-E-R. Decipher meaning. Decipher means what is it? To succeed in reading or understanding something that is not clear. It's not decipher, it's decipher. Okay. The receiver decipher the encoded information sent by the sender. Okay, so it's a word or it's a statement, that is to succeed in reading or understanding something that is not clear. Suppose it's a statement stated by a person which is not clear. So clarify the statement to succeed in the statements. So this process is known as decipher. Okay. Then feedback, the receiver's response or non-response to sender information. Okay, the feedback. Suppose we attended a meeting or suppose we attended a conference. Whatever feedback we give to the organizer, that is a feedback. Feedback is nothing. It can be understood by all everybody. Okay. So here one thing is there. Communication cycle, elements of communication cycle. This is very, very important from exam point of view. Okay, when during our time also this communication cycle, this diagram has came. So this is very, very important. Learn it. Okay, I'm saying to all the students following the channel. Okay, and here comes the summary. So now let me read the summary. The communication refers to the way we express our ideas, send our message, and to receive information from other human beings. This is the thing that you've read first. Then communication is a social activity. All the components of a society are in a relationship of sharing, be it information, be it feelings, okay, or emotion. Communication can be either one way or two way. That I've explained. Then the ability to communicate accurately, the ability to communicate information accurately, clearly, and as intended is a vital life skill. As your career progresses, the importance of communication skills increases. Okay. So here, as our career progresses, the importance of communication skills increases. So that I've cited an example while I was explaining that whenever we will have our job, whenever we, will be attached to our job after our uh, education. So that time, during our job career, during our professional career, our communication skill is also to maintain. Our communication skill has to be maintained properly, so that our image in front of the office, so that our image in front of the in front of our professional life remains, bright, remains bright. Okay, the transmission of the sender's ideas to the receiver and receiver's feedback or reaction to the sender constitutes the communication cycle. So this means the transmission of the sender's idea, whatever sender will give, whatever idea sender will give to the receiver, and the receiver's feedback or reaction to the sender constitutes the communication cycle. So this whole constitutes the communication cycle. The main components of of the communication cycle are sender, idea, message, including communication channel, receiver, decoding, and feedback. Okay, so this, again, I'm telling that this chart is becoming very, very important. Okay, this chart we need to learn. Self-assessment is there, then some questions is also there. Question answer, as I've said, that I'll give in the Google Classroom. uh, as I've said, the app that I've implemented, I'll give it. So many things are left, it's been said. So within my next two classes, within my next two videos, I'll try to finish up the chapter, and then we'll move to part B. Okay, we'll move to part B. This book has two part. Part A is part A is employability skills, and part B is subject specific skills. Subject specific skills is completely practical, and the employability skills is theory, and it's a general knowledge subject, general knowledge portion. Okay, so I have completed up to uh, important elements of communication cycle. In the next video, I will start from perspectives in communication. What does it mean? Identify the factors affecting our perspectives in communication. From 1.3, I'll start. Thank you.